Welcome back to the Bench Press Podcast. Chapter 4 is starting now. I'm your host, Bennett Snyder. To my right, Wesley Statman Minky.
Good day.
Across from me, Cameron Robertson Krob.
Good evening.
And to my left, our producer, Timway Conway.
It feels good to say, what up, boys?
Feels good to hear it. Let's get right into our sponsors. I'm making an executive decision. We're done with Never Rest.
Yeah.
I made that
Wow.
when I hosted way back when you were.
He did, yeah, way back when you were.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on Max's Meals.
We need to give all our love to Max's Meals and more.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Krob, tell me a little bit about Max's Meals.
Yeah, 2022 NIT champion Max Meyer. Xavier basketball manager Max Meyer. Beers after lost in trivia to goddamn Millmen 12-9 Max Meyer.
Max,
Suck on that,
true.
Max. We love you. You're our favorite sponsor, but goddamn it, did we take you to the woodshed in trivia?
We did.
Love them. Check them out. Facebook, Max's Meals. Great page, great charity, great people. We love Max. You should love them too. Check them out.
I think their big event is coming up in March, so make sure you guys donate.
Good call there, Timmy.
Get some shirts. Rep
Yes,
your shirts.
rep your shirts.
I think
I
we
need
all
a
wear them
sweatshirt.
pretty regularly.
At Max Meyer.
Yeah, I think-
need a sweatshirt, bro.
I think we need to get a little more Max's Meals merch. Well, great
Yeah.
charity, great cause, great people. Max's Meals.
Check them out.
Check them out. So, obviously, we took a pretty big break. It was our winter break. We deserved it. We've been grinding nonstop. But that doesn't mean we weren't still doing things in life.
The grind don't stop.
So before we get into any NFL talk, any college basketball talk, any Chell talk,
Ew.
let's talk about life. And let's talk about easily the most important thing going on. Sports gambling is legal in Ohio. Let's clap it up for sports gambling. Wes, correct me if I'm wrong, you are back.
Oh, I'm so back.
Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, you are back.
So back.
I am now legally back. Didn't really leave though, but
Yeah.
well.
Never left.
Krob, still waiting on you, buddy.
Hypothetical gambler, me forever and always.
Yes, you'll get there. Don't worry. Chapter 5, Krob, is going to be
Nothing
a
better
different
than
animal.
being nothing better than being a hypothetical gambler. It's
No.
where I
No,
thrive.
he'll get there.
End of
After-
season 4.
Yeah, he'll get
Yeah.
it.
It's where I
Chapter
thrive
4.
as a hypothetical gambler.
Okay. Well, you know what that means. We're going to bring parlay of the day back. Has to be.
Yep.
Krob's pick will obviously be hypothetical, so it'll be a legitimate.
Yeah, well, fucking guess what? My hypothetical pick last year was always correct.
Correct. Go you.
Thank
It will be a legitimate 3-legger with a hypothetical 4th leg if you want to get frisky and take Krob's advice. But, what I'm really a big fan of with sports gambling coming to Ohio is how much free money they just like to give
I
us.
got thrown boatloads of free money.
Yeah.
It's
What?
crazy.
I'm a big
Honestly.
fan. I'm a big fan. Little story time when my sister and I were at the Bengals game on Sunday. When we'll talk about that a little bit too. I made her sign up for 2 different accounts. We got $400 in free play, and we ended up winning $380. Lost nothing.
Hey,
Yeah,
good for
it's
you.
beautiful.
That's called business.
That
It
is
is.
business.
As-
Business.
As Max Meyer says when he wins, you don't even have to say hypothetical anymore. When he wins sports bets, he says, "I'm not risking anything. I'm printing money."
He's all
Printing free money.
Chris Godwin was printing money for him.
Yeah, Max prints some money. So maybe we'll have to see, NCAA regulations on that. But maybe we could have Max on to talk a little NFL.
Yeah, definitely. We can definitely. Well, Max is definitely going to be on probably, I'd assume, in the next week or 2.
Yeah, speaking of that, we got a couple really cool guests we were planning on getting on the pod. Some new ones, some familiar faces. But, as we were wrapping...
familiar voices.
That's very true. But yeah, as we're wrapping up football season, we're going to get into basketball season. And as you guys know, we have a couple really cool BPM athletes that are playing right now. So we're going to look to spotlight some of those people, and it's going to be awesome. So, Wes, go ahead. Life update. Hit me with anything. Anything you want the listeners to know.
Ooh, life update.
Mhm.
Well, I almost went to Miami and watched my first Dolphins game in Miami.
Huge.
However, the winter storm really just threw a wrench right in that sail.
Bail.
Kind of sucked, but I also didn't see Tua get concussed again,
Yeah.
which would have been 2
Yeah.
times in 2 appearances.
That would have sucked.
Would have really sucked for me, and I avoided being there for a loss. So who really won? Probably me. But yeah,
Because we all know you take Dolphins losses really well. So it would-
yeah,
Yeah,
I really,
sure.
honestly, really well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably a little sad. My team's not in the playoffs anymore.
Mhm.
All my other teams are likely going to finish last in their respective leagues this year. The
pretty good.
Reds, the Jackets. Ohio State will probably lose everything.
They
this
seem
year
to be
again,
tanking
too.
in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
now.
so I'm just gonna say my life's probably a disaster now.
Sweet. That's
but
good.
yeah, I'm legally gambling, so good for me.
And you know what? One positive can outweigh a million negatives.
That's so
can.
true.
It
Crop,
sure can.
hit me with it. I know, you said good evening or good night at the intro. We are filming in the dark right now. I can tell that you had to overcome some obstacles to get here.
Yeah, I really don't have any life updates. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I really don't got much going on. Just living day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute,
Second by second.
second by second, millisecond by millisecond. Moving on to the next day. Excited to see what's to come.
It's beautiful.
Jinx.
You owe me a soda.
Oh,
You owe
life
me a
update.
beer.
No, here I'll give.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Heyo.
Oh, Sean Miller Lights.
Go ahead.
I'll give
Crop.
a life update. I'm cracked at trivia.
Yeah.
That's my update.
Okay.
I'm
That's
really
okay.
fucking good at trivia.
Okay, there it is. Tim, hit us with it.
Life update. I got a new 3-wood and a new putter. It makes me a new golfer.
It's very true.
I have a Cobra Rad Speed 3-wood, and it sounds so pure.
Wow, he knows the name of it through and through.
So that's my life update.
I have the yips.
Yeah, you have the yips. It's okay. It's the off season. No one's counting.
Yeah, it's very
Strokes
true.
don't count. And
Very true.
And you hit a goose, so that's the big thing.
Yeah, very true.
That's actually
You
impressive.
hit another goose?
More than I would take it as.
Was it you? No,
Bad
was it you who hit the goose?
I
or
thought
was
it was you
I
who
thought-
hit the goose the first time.
No, I thought you hit the goose the other day.
Really?
Maybe I hit a goose. One of us hit a goose.
Yeah, that's
You-
all that matters.
We fucking hate the geese. They
Yeah.
shit everything.
A goose was hit.
Yes.
There
Yes.
was already
Somewhere.
a goose hit by somebody, the one with like the half broken leg.
Yeah, you
Oh,
tease and piece for
That
that
poor
one.
guy.
You don't want to kill anything, but you kind of just want to strangle that dude. Get him out of his misery.
I feel
The
bad for
seven
him. Is
was-
it the same one I'm thinking of?
Oh, his
Just
legs
runs the
dangling.
course?
Yeah.
Dangling.
Poor guy.
The 7 was out of the bag and it could be used for.
Tim and I named him,
murderous
though.
intent. Yeah.
Which one?
The one with the dangling leg.
What'd you name him?
Kevin Ware.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, clearly
Road
you
sticking
didn't
out?
watch that live because I did. and it
Clear.
was
I know
gross.
exactly where I was. Here's my life update. I'm legally hungover right now, and it's what time?
Is that the
8:48 p.m.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
The day. I'm not even gonna get into that.
21st birthday.
The day after.
I mean, it's all
Years after.
Yeah.
It literally. It,
Pierce after.
it-
Shout
it-
out Max
It
Meyer.
rolls.
Yeah, it feels good to be 21. Definitely a little bit of a culture shock. Spent way too much time at the BMV than I wanted to today.
That's so fair.
I don't know why. You should have seen
Trust
that
me,
coming.
I love Athens County more than anything. Here's one thing that I bet none of you guys knew at this table right now. Did you know that our BMV in Athens is in a mall?
Yes. Strip
It's kind
mall.
of sweet.
No, it's more than just a strip mall. Strip mall is where it's just store and store and
It
store
used
next
to
to
be
each
the
other.
mall, yeah.
It is a mall, Tim.
Oh wow.
And there's stores in it. Like there's a Bed and Body Works in there,
It used to be bigger.
Bath and Body Works, whatever.
It
Bath-
used to be bigger.
Yeah, talk about people watching. Holy shiitake. You'll see some of the most interesting characters you've ever
I'm
seen
sure it
in
was
your
fun.
life.
Well, not fun, but
I
I'm
believe
sure it was
that, pal.
interesting.
If
I
you-
believe that.
Yeah, and my handwriting was so bad that they had to keep changing. They had to have me keep fixing all my S's on my
You were
paper.
so nervous that.
No, I just hung Ched. Legally hung Ched. I was...
Should have gone to bed earlier.
Hey, good for you.
Hey, Max Shack, baby. Max Shack
Yeah,
in
that's a
Athens.
big
Yeah.
life update. That's a big life update.
Shout out to that cop I was talking to at Max Shack. What
Shout
a
out to the
good
worker
dude.
at Max
That's
Shack that
gross.
Bennett was risen.
I was risen with the Max
Oh,
Shack
you were
worker.
risen with the
Yeah,
Max
you were.
Shack worker.
That
You entered a Riz mode when we entered Max Shack last night.
Fits the description.
Maybe we try and
In
get,
person, digitally, you entered a Riz mode.
maybe we try and get Max Shack on board as a sponsor.
Maybe we should. We'll look into it for sure. We'll look into it.
How would that
Certainly-
work?
It certainly
To-
warmed my tummy last
Would
night.
they provide our athletes with meals?
No, we're just presented by Max Shack.
We'll just eat it in here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be so
Every episode
electric.
we eat it on air.
I need
A
to
lot
eat
of
it
money.
sober.
Yeah.
That's number one on my
Yeah,
to-do
that
list.
is
Have yet
so
to do
fair.
that in my
So
life.
fair.
I
But
have.
Krob has.
It's
so-
fucking awesome.
Okay. I like how I can say this all legally now.
Oh, yeah.
Feels good. It's liberating a little bit.
He was fucked up last night, folks.
We've quickly turned into quite the lifestyle podcast.
Hey, that's all right. Okay, well then let's get back to the sports side of things. The NFL, baby. It kind of sucks that we had to take our month off, kind of like right as the season was unwinding. But before we get to the playoffs, let's sort of wrap up that last week of the regular season. And a shocking turn of events, Tim Conway's pinky was in jeopardy.
Yeah, I think, what did the Steelers? Were they 1-3 when I said if they made the playoffs, I'd cut my pinky
I don't
off?
know. They were bad.
Dude, it was
They were bad.
looking like they were in tank mode. Because
Yeah.
it was when Mitch was still playing quarterback.
Yeah, this was 100% of the time. when we
Yeah,
thought-
no, you're right. They were 1-3 because
Yeah.
you said amend them, pinky team. They weren't 0-3 because they beat the
Mhm.
Bengals, but
Yeah.
they were 1-3.
Yeah, I mean, we were on Will Anderson watch, Jalen Carter watch.
Yeah.
And here we are today with the 17th pick in the draft, and we went 9-8. We had a winning record somehow.
Crazy. And you know what? I'm just glad that Canada saved his job. That's what we can all really be happy about.
That's the worst thing ever. I don't even.
It just feels good we don't have to talk about the Steelers for the rest of this
I
podcast
just listened
this
to
year.
Tim
So
scream very gutturally and
Yeah.
painfully today when Matt Canada was announced to return.
yeah, so we'll just wrap up Steelers talk with Tim's final thoughts on the season and Matt Canada staying.
Okay. Overall, I mean, I think the defense has a lot of really good pieces still. I think we're definitely lacking a number one corner, which I think a lot of other teams all the other teams in the AFC North have that. The Steelers do not. Yeah, I mean that's true.
Eli Apple.
I'm saying Cheeto. I think that when he's healthy, he's number one corner.
Sorry.
The Steelers don't have that. They got to definitely address that in the offseason. But overall, Minka was the best safety in the league, one of the best defensive players in the league. T.J. Watt, when he came back, was great. Alex Highsmith, he did not receive an All-Pro vote, but he had 14.5 sacks and led the league in forced fumbles.
Jonah Williams received an All-Pro vote.
Yeah, insane. Jonah Williams, if Alex Highsmith got one, he probably could have thanked Jonah Williams for that because he dominated him.
Probably.
Yeah, but overall, good season. I thought Kenny ended the year really, really well. I think we got our guy. So going forward, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Canada staying sucks. It feels like you're signing on for mediocrity. I understand keeping stability for a young quarterback, but keeping stability just to keep the status quo as the status quo should never be the barometer for anything.
Holy big word.
The fact that you're doing
He's
that
spitting them.
Yeah.
seems to be signaling that you're just going towards complete and utter mediocrity. Average 19.2 points per game in two full seasons. So unless Kenny Pickett is the one calling the plays like Big Ben was last year, in the second half of the year, I don't see a lot of things going well. Randy Fichtner got fired when this offense averaged 26 points a game. If that's what the bar was, Matt Canada's 7 points under that.
Okay. Well, I didn't fully comprehend everything you just said, but it seems like you've been wanting to get that off your mind for a while.
I did.
So
Also, Deontay Johnson, you fucking suck.
I was before we moved on to West.
Season with no touchdown.
Before we moved on to West, I was about to ask you one question. I forget which Steelers reporter I saw this on Twitter from. He said that there's an outside shot that the Steelers will trade Deontay Johnson for a day 2 pick and then use their first round pick on Jordan Addison, Kenny Pickett's favorite target when he played at Pitt. What would your thoughts be on that, Tim?
I wouldn't be that mad about that. I mean, you get, I see it as similar as getting Jamar for both Wentikoff winners. I mean, that would make sense. You get your guy, his guy.
I mean, it's like JV and varsity, though, right? Because you've got the varsity, Burrow and Chase, and then you've got Pickett and Addison,
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that you got to do that. If that's what they do, I wouldn't be angry about it. I wouldn't be shocked if they just go to Addison in the first round and kept Deontay. Like, I don't think that's out of the question at all.
Well, let's not forget that you hated the Kenny Pickett pick at first, too.
I did.
So look where you're at now.
Exactly.
Doesn't really matter what you think at the end. Have faith in the org.
Yeah, I mean, Omar Khan did a great job. We got a first round pick for fucking Chase Claypool.
Good job, Tim. Okay, now let's move on to Wes. Wes, we got to move on to you because Crob and I's teams are both still alive, and although the Dolphins did make the playoffs,
Yeah, fuck you, Joe Flacco.
and they did have
Fuck you, January Joe.
and they did have a very good chance of beating the Bills with Skylar Thompson at quarterback, their vape fiend of a head coach
Penn Chewer.
could not get it done. I'm just kidding. I'm still in on McDaniel, but I know that you've probably got a lot of things you want to talk about with this season wrapping up. So go ahead, take this time, say whatever you need to about the Miami Dolphins.
I mean, there's a lot of things that I would say were unexpected with this year and the way it unfolded. I think the offensive coaching staff was much better than I thought it was actually going to be. There was a lot of preseason hype. I thought it would fall through. It didn't, honestly, for most of the year. When the full unit was in, they played well. The offensive line is still the biggest worry of mine for the rest of my existence and the rest of Tua's career.
Welcome to it, baby.
I just think, I put this on Twitter, but if we get a legit left guard and a legit right tackle, I think we have a top 5 unit in the league. And I don't think it's going to be that hard to find one of those. Mike McGlinchey, I think it's how you say his name. I don't know. I don't want to mess it up. But played in San Francisco with McDaniel, knows the scheme, is a free agent this year. We're going to have money to be able to sign him if we make the right moves, a.k.a. cut Byron Jones. And I think we will. I think that's an easy fix. And then left guard there's plenty of guards that could fall to day 2. We have picks 2 third-rounders. He can move up and grab one. So I think there's a lot of places you can go. I think overall the offense looked fine when Tua was in, and he'll be back next year healthy, which I'm glad we could put all the crap to rest about finding a new QB and is Tom Brady coming, Derek Carr. I'm so sick of all that.
I was going to say, it is not put to rest. It is.
It 100% was. He came out and said Tua was our 2023 starting quarterback like 3 different times. So I'm just glad everyone's just shut that down.
The Jets said that Mike LaFleur is going to be their 2023 offensive coordinator, and they fired him 2 days later.
I mean, Cliff Kingsbury stood in front of everyone and said, "Hey, Josh Rosen's our guy."
Mm-hmm.
Look how long that lasted.
Well,
And now Cliff Kingsbury's in where?
Thailand.
Thailand?
Good for him.
anyways,
Very good for him. Have you seen the pictures of what he's doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, good
I
for
still
him.
stand by previous comments that I think Josh Boyer should be fired. However, I did see a lot of people saying on Twitter that just like it wouldn't make sense to keep replacing a defensive coordinator because it's just a turnover every single year on what your defensive staff's going to be, which I get, but at the same time, we can't call cover 0 14 times a game and expect it to work all the time. It just doesn't. And you play against good mobile quarterbacks that can move and can find guys quickly and move through progressions. It doesn't work. And unfortunately for us, that happens quite often playing the AFC. So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of little things that could happen. The DB room just needs to get healthy. We lost 4 out of 6 starters before week 5, which is just not okay, and that can't happen. But also, we have no depth behind them, and we were playing an undrafted rookie the entire season. So it is what it is. Overall, I'd say it's a good season. We made it to the playoffs, and we're competitive for the first time in my life.
Congrats, man. That's big.
So it was exciting. But, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of defensive turnover this year.
Okay,
in my
well,
opinion.
Krob, go ahead.
Can I ask for an apology as a country for that Week 18 game against the Jets for having to make everyone watch that?
I enjoyed it because
'Cause it
I
was nationally
personally, when
televised.
Jason Sanders knocked the field goal through, I fell to my knees and gave the Tim Conway 2021, 2022.
I mean,
we're going to the playoffs, baby.
We watched 1950s football. That set us
Yeah.
back
It was
75
fun to
years.
watch for me. Maybe not for you guys. I
It was
enjoyed
icky. It was icky. I'm with Krob. It was icky.
And not Icky Aquanu, just bad.
No.
Yeah.
Let
very
the
true.
boys just
Not the icky shuffle either.
No.
All I'll say
in
is
all.
for you two, I know it stings a little bit with the season still over, but I think us 4 as a group, we love NFL off season talk. We love the draft. We love.
it personally. I told you this earlier. Like I've never experienced playoff football, so like this is like the time of the season where I thrive.
Mhm.
I get to dream a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, what if? Not what
Hey,
is.
and on the bright side,
Sad.
Tua probably is out of concussion protocol by now.
Yeah, very true.
So
And Liam
Yeah, he was
gonna
again, so.
move
Swear
forward
if
to
you
the
mention
next
his
season.
name. He's not allowed to be mentioned until like August.
Liam Eichenberg.
He needs to be.
Boom.
He needs to be a post
Said it
June
right
cut.
there. Said it right there.
Post June cut. Liam Eichenberg.
He
He
might.
seems to be in your future.
Cut
plans,
Byron.
if you ask me.
Cut everybody.
The Miami Dolphins are certainly not
Is it
making
time to
the mock
admit that
draft
signing
simulators
Byron-
fun for you.
What?
The Miami Dolphins are certainly not making the mock draft simulators fun for you right now.
Well, they made him fun when we traded for Bradley Chubb.
Can you
However,
now finally admit to
wasn't.
me that you overpaid Byron Jones and he was a bust signing?
Well, if he played this year, we would have been a lot better on defense. However, him not playing definitely kills the team.
Okay. Well, Krob, and then there were 2. You and I, man. First,
Who would have thunk?
I do want
I know, that's why I said.
I do want to take a quick moment of silence for DeMar Hamlin.
Yes, of course.
T's and P's to him. That was brutal. There was a lot of shaking up that had to happen because of that game. I think the Bengals got hosed a little bit. I'll say that. I think that this Bengals-Bills game should be at a neutral site. It's not. It's not the end of the world. But it just really, really, really seems like the NFL wants the AFC Championship game to be Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes in a neutral site in Atlanta. They're already telling the teams to start selling tickets for it. And you know what? I think the Bengals love it. I think I love it too. Everyone just keeps counting us out. It's beautiful. And it's not like we're Georgia, where Georgia in the national championship game was like, you know what? People said we were going to go 7-5. They counted us out. Nobody fucking said that about Georgia. It's Georgia. But everyone keeps counting out the Bengals, and I love it. I love it. Krob, Tim, you gave each other a look right there.
Yeah, we had a very long and lengthy conversation about how Bengals fans need to be knocked down a peg.
Yeah.
I want
Why is
to
that?
add one thing.
Because, sorry, just let me finish the thought before you go. You guys have experienced mediocrity with capital M for years upon years.
Yep.
And you had one hell of a run last year.
Yep.
And then you started 1-3 this year.
You betcha.
And then you ended on a great run here. You're playing hot, but eventually you guys are going to have your hearts stepped on, crushed, and spit on by the football gods. And right now, my vibe from the many, many Bengals fans I know in my life is you guys think you're untouchable.
Oh, I don't think we're untouchable.
Well,
Certainly not.
everyone, and it
Yeah.
seems to, I mean, you
I was
have
at
a
that
little
game
bit
last
more
week.
realism, but yeah, you guys are one Logan Wilson play away from losing to Tyler Huntley and the Ravens.
True.
That's the fact of the situation.
It's very true.
And again, football's a crazy game. The
Mhm.
Dolphins are one play away from beating the Bills.
Mhm.
The Bills
I-
played just as bad as you did
I
last
remember what I
week.
told you. I said, what would the NFL do if the AFC Final Four was Skylar Thompson, Tyler Huntley, Trevor Lawrence, and Patrick Mahomes? Like, it wouldn't fly.
I mean, you get
Yeah, Mahomes would go to the Super Bowl still. They
Yeah.
wouldn't care.
I don't know.
And I think the
According to you, the
Bengals,
Jaguars won this.
I think the Bengals will beat the Bills this weekend. I fully think that's the case.
But what I was going to tell you was I read more into it because I was confused why they posted that, like why all these big accounts are posting like the Bills and Chiefs people. Apparently every year the 1 and 2 seed can buy their tickets before anybody else can because they're expected to go. So that was more of like a, hey, this is your 1 week warning of like you can now buy tickets. But it came off in a way of like, hey, Bills and Chiefs fans, get out ahead of it and go ahead and buy your AFC Championship ticket. Like,
Yeah.
it just sounded weird, but it apparently is normal.
I still think it's baloney. But,
Jagging off.
Well,
yeah, I think...
Maloney when Tony Romo says, they can't end like this.
Yeah.
Relax, brother.
And we've got Romo on the call for Sunday's game. But what I will say, Krob, you're very, very right. The Ravens had every business, or they should have won that game. I'm not afraid to say that. We got outplayed. But what I will say is they beat a division rival the third time they've played on a back-to-back week, and that's the best defense in the AFC. I don't think... In the playoffs, the Ravens are the best defense in the AFC. The Bills don't have a better one now that Von Miller's out because they can't rush the passer right now.
AJ Epinesa season.
Yeah, he's not doing
Greg
jack.
Russo is
My-
still good, but not.
But their pass, I think they
It's
dropped
not good.
from like 12th to 27th in pass rush win rate.
My worry is not with your offense. Correct. The Ravens are. No one wants to play the Ravens defense
I'm
at
with
all.
Rob here.
No one does.
I don't know how you stop.
My
them.
worry is how the fuck did Tyler Huntley score 17 points, damn near 24? Again,
Huntley was making plays. At some point, you got to
Snoop-
tip.
Snoop-
You got to
yes,
tip your
hey,
cap.
this is nothing against him because he, especially compared to what the fuck Anthony Brown did the week
Yeah.
before, severely outplayed him. Tyler Huntley looked a lot more like he did when he played last year. But the step up from Tyler Huntley to fucking Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, or slash potentially in a long shot Trevor Lawrence is significant.
Two thoughts here. Number one, it looked like Krob controlling Tyler Huntley like week 16 once he finally got his legs under his belt. Number two,
Yes.
we can
and
resume the franchise mode now. It just came through my mind.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Tyler Huntley should have got an overall boost too. after
But to
that.
also answer, I think there's a point in time where you look back at what the Dolphins have done now 3 times to the Bills, and you have to play a similar game. It's been a 3-point game all 3 times.
I was going to say Snoop Huntley scored 17, but, I mean,
Skylar
Skylar
Thompson,
Thompson
put up
scored 31 on the Bills.
Hey,
So-
no,
Technically
dude.
24
Yeah.
because Zach Sealer.
Again,
That's
I'm
true.
not saying it's anything worrisome with your offense. I'm worrisome with defense going forward.
Here's where I'm at. If they can get past the Bills, which I think they have a very, very good chance of doing on Sunday,
I just think
Joe
every
Burrow's
game
Patrick
needs to
Mahomes'
be-
daddy.
Every
Daddy.
game for you guys needs to be like a shootout, though.
They're
I don't
also-
think you can play.
No,
that
dude,
defensive
it's the
battle.
exact opposite, dude. The Bengals
I don't think,
defense
but
is
I
what...
think if it becomes a low-scoring game, the better offenses will beat you. Like Patrick Mahomes, I know you just said Joe Burrow owns him, but like when it comes down to it, I think
You're due for one.
yeah, he's eventually going to get
He's
his.
due
Like
for
law of averages, he's not going to lose to you every time, and he's done this so many times. Like I know Burrow did it last year, and recency bias tells us like yeah, he's going to do it again. But there comes a point in time where like it's Mahomes, and he is as an athlete is a lot higher than a lot of these other dudes.
I'm telling you, I think the Jags do have a decent chance this weekend. I
just
really
don't
think
know
they
if can
do.
stop
If
him.
I
the
think- I
game
think-
they played in the regular season is any indication, they have a shot, but I
No,
think
I mean-
it's Mahomes in the playoffs.
I love
Doug
their
Peterson's
matchup.
the best coach.
I love their matchup against the Chargers just because, especially down Mike Williams, like they had a chance to just key in on Keenan Allen, and they kind of did it late, and they figured him out. But I just don't know if you can do that.
Dude, I
against
think the
Chiefs.
Chiefs and Chargers are literally like such a similar team, and then it's just Mahomes versus Herbert. Like, think about it.
How so?
Well, Mahomes and Kelsey and
Yeah, I think they're a similar team. Like, the Chargers have better receivers now. Mike Williams didn't play; that didn't help them. But you got Mahomes, Kelsey. That's who you're throwing the football. They don't run the football very well. Pacheco. Now, Pacheco, it may be the best rookie running back in terms of how
might
he
be a dude.
runs.
He's a dude.
I mean, oh my God, between him and Damian Pierce, the rookie running backs just like to truck people.
Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I mean,
Tyler Algier.
very, very good rookie running back class. I love Pacheco, but the running game's not great. Okay, then you look on the defense. They've got a couple very, very good players, but they're nothing special over there, and I think that's how the Chargers are too. The Jags stopped the Chargers from running the football basically everywhere after the first quarter when Eckler got that first rushing touchdown, which, he's a touchdown Jesus.
Yep.
But I just think the Jags have a very good chance. Now, they're going to be on the road against Andy Reid. They're not going against Brandon Staley. How he even has a job.
Wild.
Crazy. I think Andy Reid's like 27-4-1 coming off a bye, or like 27-4 coming off a bye.
I had this stat earlier in the season when the Chiefs came off their bye and they were at home, and it was like they've lost, I think, 2 games ever coming off a bye when Andy Reid's.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of things against them, but I do think the Jags have a chance. Crob, sorry, we've been rambling for a little bit. The Cowboys, man.
Do you mind if I break into a little bit of song?
Yeah.
Always.
Goodbye, Tommy. It's been
Been
nice.
nice.
Hope you find your paradise. Tommy!
Tommy's going away!
Sorry it cost you your marriage, Tom, but have a fun retirement. You got outclassed by Dak motherfucking Prescott on your own home field,
Yep.
in your own fucking home stadium, the playoffs.
Yep.
Enjoy it, pal. You and Gronk can go kick it back on the beach somewhere.
Yeah.
It is
With-
enjoyable.
Hasta
With
la
his son.
vista.
Make it 69, chicks.
Watching Tom go home is very enjoyable.
With-
Hasta fucking la vista. 0-7 against Tom Brady, my fucking ass.
Okay. Let's talk about Tom Brady's son real quick.
Oh my God.
What are we doing?
It's getting lips
I
out
didn't see
here.
anything.
You didn't see
They
the
kiss on the
pictures.
lips.
The kiss.
I
He
didn't see it.
lips them hard.
Dude, it was.
Good for him.
I mean,
Well,
like you
I'm
don't
lips
want
to-
Lips to mad,
like
dude.
Sherry.
No, it is good for him.
Like
His
Sherry.
dad loves him.
Sherry Snyder.
No, what are we saying right now?
Sherry
Hell
Snyder
no.
always told me, "Judge not." People got
Sherry
different
Snyder, very logical person.
different situations than you. If Bill Snyder kissed me like that on the lips, I'd pimp slap him.
It doesn't have anything to do with
I
it
would
being his
pimp
father.
slap
If
him.
any family member
Different
kiss you on your
strokes
lips,
for
that's
different
fucking
folks.
weird.
Now, yeah, like me kissing Tim right now, that would be fine because
That's
we're
fine.
not
You're
father.
not blood related.
That's just homosexual.
Damn right. Damn right.
That ain't fact.
Stand
I
on
don't
that
know what
word.
it is.
Yeah.
Stand on that word, Tim. Dog.
There ain't nothing wrong with a couple homosexuals.
If the socks are on, everything plays.
That's very true. That's very true. But yeah, so the Cowboys, big win. Now they're going to the Niners.
Homosexual. The
How
Cowboys.
we feeling about Brock Purdy up against this Dallas defense?
I'm confident he looked shaky last week.
He did.
That was the first time he showed a crack.
Mhm.
His numbers looked great, but if you watch the game, holy shit, he got bailed by. I mean, once again, he has probably the best skill positions around him.
Best
in the
supporting
playoffs.
staff.
Easily. In terms of the coaching staff and just like skill players around him, but holy God, he got bailed a couple times.
Yeah.
All right, I'll say it right now. If the Cowboys take away Christian McCaffrey or if they limit him in any sort of way running the football, we have our chances skyrocket.
Yeah, I will say that's been the Cowboys' one fatal flaw all year, right? Stopping the run.
Yeah, well, guess what? Leighton Van Der Esch is playing out of his mind right now.
Neck pad.
Yeah, neck pad. for
Cowboy
days.
color, baby.
The pass rush is the pass rush.
Micah.
Yeah. I
Do
mean,
you consider taking Micah off the edge some this week to try and get him inside, sort of in that interior
they'll
six
do
to stop
everything
the
with
run?
him. Dan Quinn will throw him around like a pinball, as he usually does. He was safe to say disruptive is probably an understatement for what he did against Tampa Bay.
Mhm.
He had 10 pressures by himself. That's the most this season, except he was tied with one guy, himself. So, he said he was going into a different role in the playoffs. He just became a dad.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that means that you're about to have.
Girl dad.
Oh shit,
So,
that means you're going the fuck off.
Mike is on a different plane. Dak said, fuck you, literally everyone. I'm going to go out and ball. CeeDee's balling. T.Y. Hilton said, let me turn back the clock. Tony Pollard, Zeke, two-headed demon in the backfield. San Francisco's defense is really good. Looked really suspect early against the 49ers. Jimmy Ward, hey, pal, meet CeeDee. He's going to make your life hell. If DK can do it, CeeDee can do it.
Are you afraid of Nick Bosa blowing up like his brother? 'Cause
Absolutely has to.
Mentally, well, here's the thing. And I don't want to cast stones at Nick Bosa, but...
it really doesn't matter on the race of the referee when you think about it.
Well, I was going to go into the offensive line for the Cowboys.
Fair enough.
All of our tackles are black.
Yeah.
So, if these rumors are true about Nick
There's-
Bosa,
it ain't no rumors. There's money you can track.
well, hey, pal, meet Tyron and Tyler Smith.
There we go.
Yeah.
I thought Jason Peters was starting.
Jace Peters plays left guard.
Well, he started left tackle last game.
Then they must have switched Tyler Smith to
Because
the
said he
left
was the
guard.
oldest left tackle to play a playoff game, 40 years old.
Well, because when
Interesting.
Tyron Smith came back, they moved him to right tackle, obviously because Terrence Steele tore his ACL.
Rest in peace.
Zach Martin and Tyler Biatz cooking at right guard and
Yeah.
center. And they had Tyler Smith playing left tackle the entire season, and I assumed that would stay the same. They said that was the plan, and they were going to move Peters into left guard because Peters himself said he's too fat to play tackle,
Yeah, he has
which
like
is
400
true.
pounds.
He is like 400 pounds. He's much better at guard. They could have just been saying that because he is a tackle who is playing guard.
I don't know. I just
I
read
don't
something
know.
that said Jace Peters. Is gonna be
I didn't
oldest.
really pay attention to what this line scheme was looking like at the game because we were out for Bennett's birthday, but
But no, I just saw that. It said he'd be the oldest left tackle to play in a playoff game. I was like, interesting.
Here's my only thing with that Niners defense, Crowd, that you alluded to was a little shaky earlier in the game. I think it's because Geno is just so good at taking the easy stuff and not trying to do too much, and that's exactly what I'm worried about with Dak. Now, Dak coming off a
I
very
agree.
good game against Tampa Bay,
The
but
thing-
can Dak come in and play a simple game and do
safe football.
the thing is that's exactly what Dak did against the Bucks.
Mhm.
He played the safe game and he tore them apart because he was hitting people in the flats. He was leaking into flats. Even the 4th and 5 play, they ran it perfectly. He knew the read he had was going to be CD. CD was wide open in the end zone. He hit Tony Pollard in the flats a couple times, turning into big gains. He hit Jake Ferguson in the flats one time, turning into like a 25-yard gain down to the 5-yard line. He took what was easy. They ran a lot of slants. He hit guys right off the slant. He hit Michael Gallup a couple times on some easier routes
Gallup had a good game.
across the middle of the field. T.Y. Hilton's made things a lot more easy for him. He just went back to the basics, and that's what really worked against Tampa Bay.
That is
Now,
what I needed.
he can't go super basic against the Niners. He's probably going to need to make some plays because the Niners, I think, are the most complete team in football. I think that's a fair assessment to make on both sides of the ball. But if our pass rush can get after Brock, no one's really gotten after him since he's been the starter. I think if anyone can do it, it is us, and I think that gives us a great chance to win even if we're on the road.
That might be my favorite thing about Purdy's game that I didn't know he had was, God, he's just elusive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the thing is,
he's
too,
sneaky fast.
in his junior year, he didn't declare for the draft, and he was expected to be a first-round pick. He didn't declare, came back, and then fell to the 7th.
Mr.
Like,
Irrelevant.
he
Because
always
him
had
and
it.
Brees played bad the next
Yeah,
year.
he always had that in him. Like, he was always a good quarterback, and like just didn't. He got unlucky basically with
I
the
think
system.
I think he got lucky
He got
because he
very
ended up
Well,
in
he
Shanahan's
did,
system.
but I'm just saying he got unlucky with the way he was drafted. Like
Yeah.
he could have probably been a starter if he would have came out junior year. He could have been a starter somewhere right now.
Okay. Well, before we get into game picks for this weekend, the divisional round weekend, let's just go around. I'm going to hit you guys with some general NFL questions because, there is a lot that we missed. So let's start talking about it. Wes, we're starting with you, our NFL draft guy. The Texans won in Week 18 after a Davis Mills Hail Mary on 4th and 20 and then a 2-point conversion.
Hilarious.
A lot of people thought, maybe it was Lovie Smith saying, fuck you, you're going to fire me anyway, so you don't get the number 1 pick. That's looking like what happened.
Yeah.
But now the Chicago Bears have it, and they have Justin Fields already. So what do the Bears do at 1? Do they stay there and draft either Anderson or Carter, and who do they take? Or is there a team you think will trade up to number 1, and if so, who's that team?
So I think there's a couple scenarios. I think if they stay, it's because they didn't get what they wanted in trade compensation, which I think they're going to be asking for 2 first at the least, because they are not close enough to be, let's hit a superstar pick and we'll be good. I think they need at least 2 picks, which makes the Texans make a lot of sense. I think to go from 2 to 1, kind of play defense, get the quarterback they want, and they also have 12 where they could dish it out. That's a mid-round first pick. You can probably grab Skoronski or Paris Johnson still at that point. Grab kind of your choice, and you still get to take Will Anderson at 2. I also think the Colts make a lot of sense. They don't want to miss out on the big 2 in Stroud or Young. I think that Levis is the 3rd guy, but I think he's either going to be a home run or he's going to be a big flop, and I don't think the Colts want to take that chance anymore. So I can see them trading up, but I don't know. The compensation has to be right. I think if they stay at 1, Willie Anderson's the pick, but I don't think they're going to stay. There's no chance to me they stay at 1, and I don't think they would take Bryce Young. Like, I know there's a lot of reports people are saying, like, oh, what if they just take Bryce Young and trade one of them? I don't think that's going to happen. They don't.
That'd be the ultimate hardball move.
Yeah. The command obviously is not going to be there for a rookie like right away. And Justin Fields played great, but I don't think he's he's not like a Lamar type of player where you can trade him for 3 first right now. Like I just don't think that's what he can command right now. But I think they'll trade it out. Probably if they don't trade the 2, I think they'll stay inside the top 10 somewhere. My guess is probably 5.
Okay. Tim.
What did the Niners give the Dolphins to move up?
A lot
2
of picks.
firsts and a first round swap that year. So we went
Okay,
from
so-
6 to 12, and then
Yeah.
we got their next 2 firsts.
Yeah, so I would say they're at least going to have to get at least that. I think that sets the bar.
That's what I'm saying. So my thinking is if it goes to the Texans, I think they give them 2-12, and then next year's first, and likely like a 3rd rounder this year,
Yeah,
like something late middle rounds.
Yeah, I think that's what you kind of have to look at if you're the Bears.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people saying if the Colts were to do it, they'd give up to Forrest Buckner
Mhm.
because they just don't want to pay him.
Yeah, he
which
could
is
be
fair.
he could get cut if he doesn't
Which
get
is
traded.
fair, even though he still is like a good
Yeah.
football player.
Yeah.
But they just don't want to pay him because obviously you don't want to be paying a star defensive tackle in the middle of a rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be they imagine you could if it was like you can still get Will Anderson there potentially. Just
So that's
work
the
it
other part
there
about
and take
Jalen
the ball.
Carter.
I've
Yeah.
seen that, and then I've also seen
Bears
the
run a
Colts.
4-3.
I saw the Colts. Someone tweeted out. I think it might have been one of the beat writers. It was like, who would you rather trade in the middle of a rebuild? Like the question mark being, how good or when, I guess, will Shaq Leonard play again?
Yeah.
Because he missed his whole year with the back injuries. Back injuries linger. There's no going away from that. And someone's like, would you give up arguably a top 5 linebacker to get a QB? Because you played without him this year, so you know what your defense is.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
can go out and sign someone and fix it, but the question mark is if you get rid of that guy, like, what if he goes back to his all-pro status and now the Bears hit on Will Anderson and him? Like, that's huge for that defense.
Here's my thing, though, with the quarterback draft class this year. And I'm not hating on my boy Levis. I'm not hating on Bryce Young. I'm not hating on C.J. Stroud. But they're not Caleb Williams. None of
Or
them are.
Drake May.
They're not Drake May. And then you think about some other guys who could possibly break out and be good pieces in this draft class.
Bo Nix having fun.
You've got Bo Nix, you've got Quinn Ewers, you've got the sexiest man in college football, Sam Hartman,
He's
who's
coming
going to
back.
be at Notre Dame
Yeah.
this year.
Tanner
So,
Key,
I mean, there's
Anthony Richardson,
and Michael Penix Jr. I mean, there's
big
a
pieces. Well, I think he's also returning to Washington.
No, we're talking about guys for next year's class.
Yeah, next year's class.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pieces next year where like I'm looking at the Texans right now. Yeah, they could take Bryce Young and have their future quarterback, but they've got a lot of fucking other problems to fix. So if I'm the Texans, I think what you're saying is right. 2 first-round picks is probably what's going to take to move up to that number 1 spot, with one of those picks being in the top 10 this
I'm
year.
also
But
thinking Seahawks, too. I'm thinking about it.
But why would they trade away 2 potentially starters for their team to get a quarterback when they're just going to suck again all over again next year? And let's be honest, that AFC South is wide open.
It's winnable.
It's wide open. So why would you try and rush and try and get into that? Because I think they're finally going to hire a safe head coach now who they're actually going to trust. There's no way they do another one-and-done coach.
Yeah, the only issue is I don't think anyone wants
Who?
to be
Yeah.
head
Who
coach
wants?
of the
Who wants that
Texans.
job?
Someone's got to be the one to turn it around. Think it's going to be. I'll almost guarantee it's someone who's been a head coach, and it's going to be exactly like Doug Peterson, dude. No one really wanted that Jags
It
job.
could be Frank Reich, honestly.
Yeah, Reich would make sense. I think I think Dan Quinn makes a lot of sense.
He'll either go to the Broncos or the Colts.
As
Probably
weird as
he
it
won't go to
sounds,
the Texans.
It does fit their scheme to hire Bieniemy.
I don't think. I mean, Stephen A. Smith said.
Don't think he wants it,
From
but I'm
us,
saying
yeah.
like if you're gonna he's been trying to fight for a head coaching job for like 4 or 5 years now.
Mhm.
Like at this point, if
If it-
one opens up and it's offered to him, I think it's gonna be hard to pass on it because he doesn't know when he's gonna get one again.
No, I think at this point he's going to stand pat and he's going to be the head coach of the Chiefs.
Okay.
Possible.
Well, let's get moving a little bit quicker here, just because there is a chance we do get kicked out of the studio tonight.
Yeah.
There's
Outside
no
chance for
we
sure.
will.
Krob, I'm going to you. So there's going to be a big quarterback carousel this year. There always is in the off season. One name though, that's a little bit bigger than the rest. Derek Carr. Derek Carr's career is over with the Raiders. I think that's pretty clear.
He
Whether
said goodbye.
whether he gets cut or he gets traded. A lot of people are basically saying he has all the leverage. Like he has a no trade clause. He doesn't have to waive it. And so he can literally just hold out until they cut him. Where would you like to see Derek Carr playing next year? Or where do you think he'll be playing
Derek
next
Carr's
year?
going to play for the New Orleans Saints.
Interesting.
The Saints are a team that was marred by injuries this season.
Mm-hmm.
They have a great young rookie in Chris Olave. They have Alvin Kamara, one of the best running backs in the NFL. They got a good, solid defense. They got some guys who, they're studs. They got the Lattimores. They got the Demario Davis, Cam Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
But they're pretty solid all around. The one thing they missed this year was Michael Thomas.
And a quarterback.
Well, Andy Dalton played well in relief.
Dude, Dalton was no scrub this year.
But Slant Boy missing was big for them.
Mhm.
I mean, it adds another dynamic to that offense. Jarvis Landry as well in that receiver room was very hurt all year. I think they're in a situation which we talk about the AFC South being wide open. Well, fuck me, the NFC South is
Yeah,
wide
very
open.
true.
Literally 8-9 made the playoffs this year,
Mhm.
and the only reason the Bucks were 8-9 was because Tom Brady.
He's
The
gone.
Saints are a quarterback away from winning the division.
Okay.
That doesn't mean they're going to be 13-4, but they're a quarterback away from winning the division. And when they trade Sean Payton, they're going to get at least a first-round
Yeah.
pick out of it.
I don't mind that at all, Carl. I think that's actually a pretty good move. Even though I do think Dalton this year for the Saints played better than he ever did on the Cowboys or the Bears.
But yeah, the year he played on the Cowboys was terrible.
So, yeah, I do like that, though. I think the Saints very much could be the front runner for that division next year, depending on, we don't know what the Falcons are doing at quarterback. We don't know what the Panthers are doing at quarterback.
Jets.
And now we don't know what the Bucks are doing at quarterback either.
Yeah,
So, it could
lots
be
of
very
question marks
interesting.
all over that.
Jets.
As a potential spot for Derek Carr. Yeah. I
you
mean,
want pieces, and you want a good enough. I know their O-line's been hurt for the last 2 years, but when healthy, it could be.
Only reason I don't
really
say
good.
Jets is just because I think Garoppolo's such
Yeah,
a shoe.
I think
in there.
I agree.
Stick with
I think
Robert
Saleh's
Saleh.
going to go get
Mhm.
him
I know. I get it. I'm just saying.
because they're not
It's a good
they're
fit
out
for him.
on Zach Wilson, but there's a crack in the door for Zach Wilson. I think if you get Derek Carr, that door slams shut.
Yeah.
If you get Jimmy Garoppolo, that crack still exists.
I mean, let's just be honest, too. I mean, a quarterback room of Jimmy Garoppolo, Zach Wilson, and Joe Flacco.
Mike White.
Whoa.
I mean, is that the
Mike
sex?
White.
No, Mike White will probably go somewhere else. That'd be my guess. There's no way they keep White, Wilson, and bring in another quarterback. No chance.
They're all under
I think
contract.
I think Flacco retires.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just
agree.
saying there's potential there to have the sexiest quarterback room in NFL history.
That's so fair.
I'm just saying.
It's true.
Just saying. Tim, final question for this quarterback talk right here. Sam Howell, looking like he might be the future starting quarterback for the Commanders. Played pretty good
Commanders.
against.
Yeah, the
Yeah, played pretty good against the Cowboys. So this is a double part, okay?
Okay.
Is Sam Howell the starter next year for the Commanders? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Where does Carson Wentz play football next year?
Ooh.
Carolina Blue.
No, I don't think he goes to Carolina. I
I
think he
have a
probably.
suggestion.
I think he probably. Oh, I know exactly where he's going to go. He is going to be the backup quarterback, probably in Jacksonville. Doug Peterson, I think it just makes sense.
Interesting.
He's going to be the backup quarterback somewhere.
No. Fucking Nate Rourke is the backup quarterback
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jacksonville.
He signed a training camp deal.
Yeah, and he's going to get signed. Carson Wentz may go to the BC Lions and play where Nathan Rourke just played,
Yeah.
and he can ride his fucking John Deere up there in Vancouver because he sure as hell's not playing fucking football anywhere meaningful.
What if he goes back to the Eagles?
I don't
No,
think
what-
David-
Minshew.
Yeah, and
No
I
offense.
think Minshew's deal is
No
pretty
offense.
good.
Carson Wentz has all the personality traits to be a starting quarterback. He has no fucking skill. It left with his ACL back in
Yeah.
2017. His
He-
career is dead.
He's got the yips.
He does, yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be a very good backup. I think he'll be
Hey, what if he goes to the Ravens?
that. You think he can run that offense?
I mean, Lamar
no.
is going to
They're,
leave.
yeah, and they're gonna
If he doesn't get
fucking
franchise tag,
draft
which-
Anthony Richardson if Lamar leaves.
No, they're going to fire Rick Roman. I think that
Anyways.
Jacksonville would make sense just as a backup. I just don't see a realistic opportunity for him to be a starter, and he needs to go somewhere where he's going to feel comfortable and the scheme fits him. It's a system he's been in before. I wouldn't be shocked if Frank Reich brought him along if he gets a job as an OC.
This is such
or
a
a head
Cam
coach
Newton
anywhere.
situation.
I like Wentz to the Jets. That's my pick.
Interesting. I'm saying this is a Cam Newton situation. Think about it, Tim. Goes back to where you once played. Carolina to Carolina again. Could be Philly to Philly again. I know you said Minshew, and there's no stress on Hurts to lose his job. Was a former MVP. Then why?
I honestly,
I think there's just too many variables for him to go somewhere and be actually competing for a job.
Here's my
I don't think
question.
they're-
Here's my question. The Panthers sucked terribly when they signed Cam Newton, so the circus that came with the media was fine.
That's
Why,
fair.
when you're one of the most winning teams in the league right now, are you accepting yourself to the Carson Wentz media circus to be your fucking third string QB?
Here's what I'll
That's
say
opening
too.
yourself to a locker room issue that doesn't need to happen.
I'll say this too about sort of the vibe I get from Carson Wentz. I think he would retire before he took a backup job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he would go
I-
fucking hunt in Montana.
He's got so much fucking money.
He's got that Andrew Luck in him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like he's
That's that guy.
like what else does he have to prove that he can realistically do?
That's
Like you can say win a Super Bowl, but
He's falling
Carson
off the cliff.
but Carson Wentz can't win a Super Bowl in the NFL.
Once you fall off the cliff, you can't climb back up the cliff. Carson fell off the cliff in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once again, it was literally not his fault at all. Like he got injured, and he just has not been the same player since.
RG3.
And once again, if Nick Foles does not win that Super Bowl, I think he is completely fine. I think that his confidence, he just got fucking shattered after that.
That's fair. Okay, one word answers. 3 questions around the table before we get to game picks. Wes, is Aaron Donald playing football next season in the NFL?
Yes.
Okay. Krob, is Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, are they going to trade for DeAndre Hopkins?
No.
Tim, where does Lamar Jackson play football next year?
Tennessee.
Okay. I actually really like that, Tim. I am big on board for that. Because I think if you're the Titans, you trade as many first-round picks for Lamar as you want.
Oh, you can give him Malik Willis back too. I think him and Derrick Henry. Oh my God, be disgusting.
If I'm Traylon Burks, I'd request a trade immediately. They're not passing the ball.
Okay. Let's get into the NFL divisional weekend now. Let's do some game picks. We've got 4 games this weekend. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Kind of sad. Krob, yes, speaking of game picks, let's clap it up. Krob, you did win the pick'em. Congrats, man.
Back-to-back. BTB.
Congrats, man. Wes, you did lose. You will be bowling soon.
I'm bowling all the time.
If
So.
anyone wants to hear the final standings,
Go ahead.
We can. We, as a group, as a collective, went on a fucking heater in the last 4 weeks of the season. No one finished under 500.
It's huge.
The worst week was week 16. West went 8-8.
Yeah.
Tim.
To be fair, Tim, you remember what I did that week? I literally looked at you and said, "This is the Steelers' road." I picked us to lose.
Tim. Double-digit weeks, all 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Bennett. Double-digit weeks, all 4 weeks. Myself, double-digit weeks, all 4 weeks. And all 3 of us hit the elusive 13 win
I know,
wall.
that's pretty unreal.
Yeah, we spazzed to end the season. West finished in last, 155, 114, and 2.
Congrats.
Obviously
40 games
missing
over.
1 game because of Bengals Bills. I call it a no contest. Didn't give us a tie.
T's and P's.
Just started great,
Fair.
straight no contest. Tim and Bennett tied.
Yeah.
And going into the last week,
Rock, paper, scissors right now.
Time is like kissing your sister.
Yep.
We're not on my phone with it.
We're homosexuals. We play.
no, spin the wheel. The wheel is just. Come on.
No, because
No, that's no skill. You
Yeah.
guys need skill.
2 out of 3.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Fucker. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Fucker.
All right,
Wow,
Bennett finished in
2-0.
third with 173, 96, and 2. Him and Tim went to last week tied. They picked 4 games differently, and they split them 2-2.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Tim finished now in second, 173, 96, and 2. They both beat West by a whopping 18 games. And I finished in first, 180, 89, and 2.
Let's go.
I'm better than basically 90% of the experts.
Congrats.
You can lick on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even get to 90 losses.
Eat like a king who's on a budget.
At BK, have it your way.
Okay,
You rule.
let's
I
move
haven't
on.
eaten at BK
Let's-
in years.
Let's move on to game picks. One interesting factoid. If I let you guess which of these 4 games has the cheapest tickets, with the 4 home stadiums being San Francisco, Buffalo, Philadelphia, and Kansas City, which would you say is the cheapest entry fee this weekend? Tim.
Kansas City.
Yeah, it's the worst game in Kansas City.
Kansas City.
It is Kansas City. It's a bit shocking. What do you think's the most expensive?
Philly, it's a division game.
I don't know.
It's a divisional playoff game.
I don't know.
It's a
I'm trying to think
divisional
of the
playoff.
best game. I feel like the 49ers game will be the best game.
49ers
game.
cheapest ticket, $446 in San Francisco.
We are not going.
Those are California prices.
Yeah, that is true. I forgot to add that.
Well, I feel like that's also
the
I mean,
I figured Philly would be pretty because New York is not that far away from Philly.
Bills tickets have
Divisional
dropped.
game.
Bills tickets have dropped to $152 for the cheapest ticket. Kansas City's at $109 and Philly's at $222.
Dang.
So, let's
So
get
NFC
in.
games are just slept on.
Yeah, let's get into this Chiefs at home against the Jaguars. We've already talked about it a little bit. I think the Jags have a chance. They need to play a very similar game plan to as they did against the Chargers. Sorry, sort of lost my train of thought there. So if you're going to take the Jaguars, go ahead and start us off.
Fuck it. My week 2 prediction this year was the Jaguars were going to win the Super Bowl. They then proceeded to lose like 4 straight games, and they ended up making the playoffs and winning the game. Doug Peterson, he's a top 3 coach in the NFL, and I genuinely mean
I was
that.
literally just about to say to you, I think this is one of the only matchups where Andy Reid might be the worst coach here.
Yeah,
Who's your top 3? I need to know. I can't sit on this.
Shanahan, Peterson, number
Shan-
3, Tomlin.
Shanahan, Peterson. I'm not gonna give it to.
Don't disown
It's
coach.
probably Reid.
Yeah, it's probably.
Belichick.
Andy Reid or Sean McVay.
Belichick.
Belichick could. He can't even build a staff anymore.
Okay. All right. Anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, I'm taking the Jaguars.
Tim's jagging off
the
Doug
comeback
Peterson.
king, Trevor Lawrence, 4 picks to 4 touchdowns.
Waffle House? Did you see that?
You never know. You never know what's gonna happen here. I think they somehow fuck around and win this game. That's my prediction. Doug Peterson's gonna go for 2 every single time.
Okay, and if they're gonna fuck around and win, what are they gonna fuck around and make the score be?
Ooh, it's 36-35 game-winning 2-point conversion.
I like it. Krob, over to you.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence had a post-game meal at Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. Huge big mo.
I don't know if there's Waffle Houses in Kansas City, but I think the mood's going to be a bit more somber this time. I'm going to take the Chiefs 31-17.
Okay, Wes, over to you.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs. This is their warm-up game for the big AFC Championship. I'll go Chiefs 41, Jaguars 23.
Okay. And now it's to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's a word that we sort of coined with this episode? I think it's homosexuals. And you know what homosexuals do together?
They pick games together.
They
Jackson Mahomie.
they jag each other off. I'm taking the Jags, Tim. That was a terrible high five. Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
Wow, you guys like
You
over
guys are
6.
awful.
It's hard when we're sitting in these chairs.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I think we were still a little too excited, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm taking the
Jags.
Jags.
Think about jagging each other off.
That's
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And here's why. Let me tell you exactly why. Whose wife is better? Trevor Lawrence's wife or Patrick Mahomes' wife?
We haven't heard shit from Patrick Mahomes' wife all year, so she's shooting back up the
I didn't-
rankings
I
because she
didn't-
shut her mouth.
I didn't ask.
Trevor Lawrence's wife is better.
That's all the analysis
Yeah.
I need to give.
It's fair.
And Cincinnati hosts the AFC Championship game with a win. Or with the Jaguars winning a win at Buffalo.
How
So,
poetic for the Jags to beat Cincy and that would hurt
never.
so bad.
Never.
Trevor Lawrence gets his
Oh my
revenge
gosh,
for
Tim
2019.
calls it too. The Jaguars to the Super Bowl.
Trevor Lawrence
If
gets
the
his revenge.
If the Jags win the Super Bowl, I would take
Play the lottery.
the greatest victory lap of all.
Okay.
We're going to Vegas.
I'm
I don't know.
I'm going Jaguars 36-23 scoregami.
Yes, love it.
Let's move on. Eagles at home, and I forgot to mention in that game, Kansas City is 8.5-point favorites there.
Makes sense.
Let's move on. Eagles at home against the Giants, 8:15 p.m. on Fox Saturday night. Philly is 7.5-point favorites in this one. Krob, known Giants truther over there. Are you taking the Giants?
Yeah, I'm going to take the biggest victory lap of all time before I talk about this game at all.
Mhm.
I do believe after week 1 on this podcast, I did utter the words the Giants are going to win 10 games and go to the playoffs and win a playoff game. They went 9-7-1. Oh, darn tootin', excuse me. They tied a game. I consider that 10 victories because they didn't lose. And then they went to the playoffs and they fucked around and they beat the Vikings. Fraud Vikings. Also,
Yeah,
I'd like to
so-
toss that
so
out.
evident.
Dan Dimes plants his fucking flag in the ground. And my prediction came true. So I would like to pat myself on the back. Thank you very much.
Sure.
You deserve
Uh,
it. See, that's what a homosexual does.
Yes, thank you very much.
Don't touch me.
I'm riding with Dan Dimes till the wheels fall off, aka until he has to show up to AT&T Stadium next week for the NFC Championship. Give me the Giants. It's really hard to beat a team 3 times. Give me the Giants. 31-28.
Okay. Wes, over to you.
Yeah, Eagles gonna dog walk them. It shouldn't be close. They're a much better team. Week of rest. Jalen Hurts fully recovered.
Giants
This
better
game
coached.
shouldn't be close.
Giants are better coached.
Nick Sirianni was like 14-3 this year. Yeah, he didn't lose. Yeah, Eagles are
Go ahead. Score.
37-20.
37-20. Okay. Tim, over to you.
I'm going to take the Eagles, unfortunately. I want to see the Giants win this game. Nothing would make me happier than see the Giants win this game. I think the Giants are very fun to watch play football, as with the Eagles, so this is going to be a fun matchup to watch. Genuinely just a football enjoyer, as a ball watcher, knower of ball. I do think that the Eagles will they're more dynamic on offense. A.J. Brown is going to be an issue. I think he's going to get his, but I really do think that it's going to be close. I think it's going to be low scoring. I'm going to go 24-20.
Okay. I'm going to do it. I'm taking the Giants. I don't know why. I think the Giants they're going to be playing with the 12th man in this one, and no, it's not home field advantage on the road. I think they've got momentum here. You know,
Big mouth.
The Eagles, I didn't love what I saw from them towards the tail end of the season.
Jalen Hurts played 4 quarters in 4 weeks.
I
Yeah,
thought the 12th man was Dan Dimes nuts because they're gigantic.
I mean,
but you go ahead.
and I like what they're doing with Dan Dimes because I think they're finally freeing up Dan Dimes to just play like he has nothing to lose. And I think it's been liberating for him. I think he's been playing a lot better now. You know, they've had a lot of key injuries this year, but, you know, Kenny Galladay, you might be the best run-blocking wide receiver in the NFL, and he caught a cool touchdown against the Eagles in, week 18? So
Isaiah Hodgins looks like
Yeah.
a bit of a guy.
Hodgins
He
is
might be-
him.
He might be your best.
He's got a big-ass, swelly ankle, though, so
Yeah.
let's get some ice on that this week. And you know what? Saquon Barkley is still Saquon Barkley. So
Useless.
I like what the Giants are doing. I'm going to take the Giants in a very low-scoring one, 17-13,
Would not shock me at all.
because I think this game is going to be a little cold there in Philly. It's saying 44 degrees.
What's
I'm
the
not
total?
buying it. Over-under's at 48.
Yeah, I love the under in that one.
Well, I mean, for reference, the first time these two teams played, the Eagles hit that over by themselves.
That is fair.
So
It's true. So it means we're due for an under.
it's really hard to beat a team 3 times.
Okay, let's move on. Bills at home against the Bengals in a game that we all wanted to see on Monday Night Football a little bit ago. It's finally happening. It's in Buffalo, though. Playoff game. Bills 5.5-point favorites in this one. Wes, who you taking?
I'm taking the Bills. I think they didn't show a lot last week. They kind of held their cards close to the vest against the Dolphins. I think they had more up their sleeve and decided not to show it. I think they kind of expected to beat the Dolphins and Skylar Thompson, so I think that's why it was a little closer, was because they kind of just rolled over the game, didn't think it was going to be close. I think this week they unravel a little bit of that play sheet. I think with this corners situation, I don't want to call it a problem because it's only cost you 4 games this year, but with the corner situation the Bengals have, I think Stephon Diggs is going to have a crazy day. I just think he's finally into his groove where it's like, yeah, this is Stephon Diggs again. Like the last few weeks, he's just looked good, and this rushing attack is finally getting going for the Bills, and it causes teams to have to play them multiple different ways. So I just think the Bills' offense is too dynamic, and I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Bills will get a defensive turnover late to seal it and win. I'll go Bills
Thank you.
31, Bengals 27.
Okay, Krob, over to you.
I think the Bengals are going to win, but I'm picking the Bills because the script is undefeated. This is the rematch of the DeMar Hamlin game. DeMar Hamlin is going to do something before this game to pump the Bills up. It's inevitable.
It's been
like
there all week.
like Thanos,
So-
it is inevitable. Will he walk out of the tunnel with the smoke? Who knows? Something's happening. The Bills are going to be incredibly motivated to play this game, as are the Bengals. But playing in Buffalo, Bills Mafia's got their back. I'm not worried about Stephon Diggs. I'm worried about Gabe Davis. The man turns it on when the lights are bright, when the playoffs are here, when the primetime games are the primetime games. It's always primetime in the playoffs. I think Gabe Davis is going to have his day, and I'm just a little worried for the Bengals. And I think it's going to be a really close one. The Bengals play anyone in the playoffs tough in the past year and a half. That's going to be no different this year. I am going to take the Bills 27-24.
27-24. Okay, Tim, over to you.
I was planning on taking the Bengals and they didn't cover last week, so I'm taking the Bills now, purely out of spite.
Revenge play from Tim.
Okay.
Because I had a genius idea where if I took Bills money line and parlayed it with Bengals minus 8.5, I got the Bengals minus 8.5 plus money.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, it's genius. The Bills almost fucked that up for me. But
Yeah.
then they didn't cover, so
Okay.
that makes me sad, and therefore I'm picking the Bills here. I do think you cannot give 5.5 points to the Bengals. Like, that's a fucking insane line.
Yeah, I agree
The
with that.
Bengals are not 5.5 points worse than the Bills. I don't care if they're home, away, whatever. That's an unreal, unserious decision by Las Vegas. I just think I'm going with the Bills here purely based off of vibes and just because there's a lot surrounding this game. But you can never count Joe Burrow out. This game is coming down to the last play, no matter what. I'm going to go 28-27. It's going to be on Tyler Bass's leg, but because the view cannot kill the Bengals, like they will never go away in a game. I think that Steelers-Bengals game week 1 proved that. Like the Bengals will not go away. This game's going to be maybe the best game you'll see all year.
Okay.
You know what? The Bengals are actually really similar to the Dolphins when you think.
I don't want to talk about
Okay,
this.
well,
Could we
Just
move on to the real game of the week, please?
Well, I haven't made my pick yet,
I know, that was a joke.
and now I'm conflicted. I thought for
He
sure
wants the 4-0.
someone was going to take the Bengals. I thought for sure.
I was planning on it.
But
it's a script, dude. The NFL.
I
wins
told
the
you, I
game.
think the Bengals
But
will win, but for my
now,
picks,
but
that's
now,
my integrity. I'm picking the Bills.
this is where I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
There's no way you pick against your team.
I think it's gonna steal.
Physically can't. I picked against my team and it didn't work.
I don't know if I picked against Cowboys. I might have week 2 after I called the season dead.
Bills 31, Bengals 32. Can't pick against them.
Knew that was coming.
Bengals gonna win. Someone's got to believe in them. I do. I believe in them. They're gonna get it done. And you know what? It's not gonna be pretty, but I'll tell you what. 5.5 points is way too much, Tim. And the over/under being at 48. Really?
Yeah.
I think that's a little low.
You know what? I'm gonna fuck around and do it. Bengals plus 5.5 game of the year.
Wow.
You cannot give the Bengals 5.5 points.
Man, it is
Wow, that was
early.
the most casual game of the year dropped. We're fucking 2 weeks into this bullshit.
Yeah, it's an early game of the year.
Oh yeah,
man.
this is game of the year.
Man,
You
and you
can't
know
give
what?
the Bengals 5.5 points.
You know what feels good? I'm 0-0 on game of the years right now.
I'm on
You
one,
need
right?
to be banned from.
How?
I think UConn.
Yeah, he did.
Did you tweet out UConn
No,
game?
I didn't tweet it out though. Oh, that's true. That's
That
true.
doesn't
Mulligan, you
count.
don't tweet it out,
Mulligan.
the public doesn't know.
Yeah.
Oh no, baby.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, you.
And,
Wow,
and,
you-
and last year.
COVID clause also. Game of the year COVID clause. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that is true. I did not. Yeah,
COVID
Dan,
clause.
Dan really did get caught out. Early.
And the lead assistant. So they
okay,
literally.
So yeah, that doesn't count. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Bengals plus 5.5 game of the year. I'm gonna put some momentous dollars on that one.
Good. Legally too.
Legally, I'm putting momentous
33
dollars.
degrees
Mhm.
in Buffalo.
Okay.
It's like
Nobody
it's not that
circles the
cold.
wagons like the Buffalo Bills, though.
It's not that cold.
Us three are gonna go quick in this game. We're gonna let Carl talk about it the most. 49ers at home against the Cowboys. Cowboys are 4-point dogs at the Niners. Wes, who you taking here?
Cowboys haven't seen defense like this year. 49ers are going to look good. I'll go 49ers 27, Cowboys 20.
Brock Purdy hasn't seen anyone like Micah.
True.
I'm taking the Cowboys, which means I'm taking all 4 underdogs this week. I think there's a very decent.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took all 4 favorites. So.
I'm taking all 4 dogs, and I just think it really comes down to I'm more confident in Dak going against San Francisco's defense than I am with Brock Purdy going against Dallas's defense. And I know that's a very simplified answer, but that's what I like, and I like a low-scoring one here. I like the Cowboys 20-16. Tim.
I'm also taking the Cowboys here. I love Brock Purdy. I'm a known Brock Purdy guy. I think he is a heck of a player. I think he's a heck of a quarterback. But he's a rookie, and this is fucking Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys, and they have something to play for. They are fired up. I think it's poetic. They're going to win this game, and genuinely, I just think that the Cowboys are a better football team at this point in time. Deebo Samuel, I don't think has seen a corner quite like Trayvon Diggs the way he's been playing this season. And I love Deebo Samuel. I think he's very good, but I don't know how often he wins in coverage compared to him being schemed open. So I think that that's going to be very important this week. Although I do think Shanahan is the best coach in the league. Sometimes you just can't overcome a 7th-round pick at quarterback, and sometimes you can't overcome a team. This might be the only other team that can run the ball quite like the 49ers can. So when you can control the ball like that, and all of a sudden it's not in your favor, it's very hard to play behind. So if they get behind early, which I think they will, that's going to be why they lose. Cowboys 31, Niners 26.
I like that take, Tim, because, Brock Purdy has been impressive, but I don't think it's really been, he's going out there and winning them games. It's been he's been playing very well in that system, and it's been leading to wins. I think if you make Brock Purdy go out and have to win this game, the Cowboys will be in good shape. Krob, I can't imagine you're picking against your boys.
I'm picking the Cowboys. Brock Purdy is yet to have a multi-interception game in the NFL. Hi, Deron Bland. Hi, Trayvon Diggs. You both get one.
Okay.
You're right. He hasn't met Micah. Micah's going to get a sack. Cowboys are going to play.
Girl dad Micah.
Girl dad Micah.
I mean, that's the biggest factor here.
Girl dad Micah. We're playing with nothing to lose. You can't say, oh, the Cowboys choking the playoffs. They lost to Malachi Brown. This is a revenge game, first and foremost. If you know one thing about a revenge game, always take the team looking for revenge.
So true.
And I agree. I think we're playing a better brand of football than the 49ers is. Defensively, the defense looks like they're back. The 49ers, I was a little concerned watching how easily the Seahawks scored in that first half. Now, they tightened the ship real quickly in the second half. And they could certainly do so if the Cowboys can get up on them quickly. The 49ers have that capability. This is going to be a fight. It's no game. I don't think either team's going to dominate. The Cowboys' key is to stop the run. The Cowboys' key offensively is to establish our own run, to open the pass. I think CeeDee Lamb will have to be big for us. I think Dalton Schultz will have to continue to be big for us after what he did last week. I'm going to take the Cowboys to move on to the NFC Championship. I'm going to take it 27-24.
27-24.
Cowboy Bengals Super Bowl would tear this podcast apart.
Hey, can we go ahead and shake hands right now if it's Cowboys Bengals we're going?
Where is it, Arizona?
It's in Arizona. My grandma lives in Arizona. We can stay with her. Thanks, man. And actually, my family's planning on going anyway, even if just the Bengals go. But
Yeah.
But if the Bengals do go and play the Cowboys, you're coming with me.
Hey, thanks, man.
That's what I should have said. Okay, this is what I want to do to wrap up NFL talk. I said we're bringing back Parlay of the Day, so we're going to do that on Sunday, okay? So what I want to do, everyone pick one, either spread, over, under, from this weekend's game. Sorry, I said Sunday, I meant Saturday, Sunday, just for the NFL. No, you know what, it's not even Parlay of the Day anymore.
Yeah.
Scratch it, move on,
That's
dumb
a
idea.
touchdown parlay.
Oh, I like a touchdown
Yeah,
parlay.
divisional round weekend touchdown parlay.
I like a touchdown
I
parlay.
got my leg.
Okay, go ahead, Tim.
This is because sometimes you just gotta bring it back. Little throwback. Give me T. Higgins.
T. Higgins, touchdown. He's due.
He's so due.
Starting
So
it
due.
where it began.
So due. Crop, over to you. If you
I
got
would
one.
just like to say, for the record, my fucking God, I'm happy nobody can pick Aaron Jones this week.
That's very
So
true.
fair. That's so
You
fair.
can
It's-
just at me next time.
It's very fair.
deserved.
This is going to seem like a bit of a contradictory statement to what I've just said. My pick's going to be Chris McCaffrey.
Okay.
That's the one thing we don't do is stop the run well. I think if they get in the red zone, Chris McCaffrey's at least going to get one.
Okay. Wes, your pick?
I don't love it, but I feel like it's just due to happen. He's having like the last 4 weeks. I'm gonna go Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
Oh, I
He just
like
played
I don't
well,
hate that at
and
all.
his odds are really good.
Josh
I like
looks
that.
for him in big
Mhm.
games,
He
too.
does.
Kind of crazy because 3 of our picks are going to be from the same game.
That's what I figured you're gonna do. I didn't want to triple down on it.
No, it's okay. I'm going to the Bills-Bengals game as well. But I'm not taking a Bengal. I'm taking a Buffalo Bill, and his
I
name
thought-
was not Dawson
I
Knox.
thought Ben was for sure going Trent Irwin there.
No, I'm going to go James Cook.
I like James Cook.
I think,
Don't
you
hate
know,
it. Scored last week.
the Bills' run game, like Wes said, it's been getting a lot better, and the Bengals really struggled against the run early last week. And you know what, J.K. Dobbins, you can get criticized for calling out coaches or whatever in the media. You're 100% right. If you get the ball handed to you 3 times on the 1-yard line, you're getting in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like, I can confidently say that he was running very, very well in that game. So yeah, I think James Cook is a realistic option for a touchdown this week against the Bengals.
He is so good at running outside the zone. It's kind of
Yeah, and the Bengals really struggled with that last week. So
Dude, it's crazy to think about too. I know I want to get too off track, but that Georgia backfield was nuts, and it was dudes that you don't expect to be good, coming into the league now, and James Cook just dominated and just never played. He got behind Zeus White.
Mhm.
How did James Cook sit behind Zeus White at Georgia? That don't make any sense to me. Anyways,
Okay. Let's move into college basketball real quick. Tim, let's start with you. You've got the Xavier shirt on.
Yep.
Zip 'em. Xavier basketball is a top 10 program in the country right now.
Yeah, we are playing absolutely fantastically. We might be the best offensive team in the country. We're currently losing right
Yeah,
now.
I
to
just
the
want,
Paul.
yeah.
It's all right.
But
Coming back, though, because you were down in half.
yeah,
By 5.
yeah, but not worried. Sean Miller is a top 5 coach in the country. He knows how to rebuild a program, and I'm super excited to see what the future holds for this team. Soleil Boom, best point guard in the country.
Crop, let's go over to you with the Duke Blue Devils. Okay, I haven't been following Duke too much. Tell me a little bit about Derek Lively. Just seems like he hasn't been able to get going this year.
He refuses to make. Well, let me rephrase. He refused to make a post move. He's now doing that. We are going through a year where we're rebuilding a little bit. Had the number 1 class, but classes are getting weaker nowadays. Absolutely, the class this year, the class next year, the class in the past or in the 2024. They're weak classes when you compare them to some classes to 2017, 2018. You're not having any Zion Williamsons walking through the door at any school in the next couple of years. You're not having any R.J. Barretts walk through the door at any school the next couple of years. Recruiting insiders have all been saying it. The next couple classes are weaker overall. I think that's why this year we've seen there's no true super team. There's no team that's dominating college basketball because nobody has those studs. Some people have older teams that are really good.
Yeah.
Some people have younger teams that are good, but there's no studs, so you're still learning. Duke's one of those teams. You have a first-year head coach. It's the year after Coach K. You have a team that has very little, upperclassmen leadership, and the very little we do is transfers. And the one upperclassman leader we had who returned is sitting out with the toe injury. We have played substantially better in the past 2 games than we have. We started off the year well. We have, I believe, 6 losses now, 5 losses
5.
now. Wake Forest is the sneaky best team in the ACC because they just beat Clemson, who was undefeated in the ACC. We
Interesting.
lost to Clemson on the road. The one thing we've done, we have not lost at home. I will come out of that. We lost to Kansas, who's a top 5 team. We lost to Purdue, who's a top 5 team, both on neutral sites. We beat the Zave, who's a top 10 team, on a neutral site. That's a key win for us. And then we've lost 3 ACC games on the road. Now, one time we got our dicks kicked in. The other 2 times we put up a fight and just lost late. I feel positive where it's going. I don't think we're a national title contender this year. I think we could win it, but I don't think we're a true top tier contender there. But for the next 2 years, I think the ceiling is sky high.
Okay. Well, keep your head up. February 20th is around the corner. Do you know what that day is?
February 20th, we play Louisville.
At home. So, you know what, at least...
Was hoping it was going to be a road game because I would go if it was a road game.
Yeah, at least that's there.
Yeah.
Wes, would you like to comment on Ohio State basketball at all, or?
Yeah, we're stuck in a cycle where we get a really good guard, and then they're like Big Ten Player of the Year guard, and then they leave. And then we get another one next year, and we're like, well, he's staying. And then he gets really good, and he's first-round pick.
Well, here's the thing. It's just like
Happens every year.
after you guys blew that Purdue game, I mean, you really have not looked alive for the next couple games, and
all
you're
right.
now on a 5-game slide.
When does football start?
Soon enough.
We'll be excited.
Is Holman going to get fired, do we think?
He's got to.
Nah,
Yeah.
that'll be all right.
UK. I'll talk about that real quick. Gosh, did we look like the worst team in the country for a while? But then Severe Wheeler accidentally kind of gets hurt, and I'm really upset about it because
Your
it's
birthday, buddy.
yeah. Oh God, that ruined my birthday. I forgot. But just a little thing I saw. So now with Case and Wallace running the point.
Carson.
Yes. Yeah. The Wallace, Reese, Frederick Toppin, Oscar Shibwe ranking has the highest mark of any lineup since 2019-20.
It's huge for the program.
They're efficient, dude, and it's it feels good to see. And I don't want to be overly optimistic with this Kentucky team because they're just bound to break my heart at any time. But
They still got to fight in SEC play to make the tournament. For
St.
sure.
Peter's.
yeah, I mean I think they're gonna. I do think they're gonna be okay.
That's fair.
Well, he was asleep, actually, so that doesn't count. That's COVID.
Tim,
COVID regulation.
question.
Yes.
Are you worried? Because this podcast, since its inception, has seen 2 March Madnesses.
Yes.
It's seen 3 number 2 seeds between
Correct.
our teams. My team won, and this is not to cast stones because my team could have lost that game. My team won against Cal State Fullerton.
Yep.
His
hell
team
with Oral
lost
Roberts.
against Oral Roberts, and his team lost against St. Pete's. If Xavier gets a 2 seed, are we going 1 for 4 or are we going 2 for 4?
The one thing I'll say about the Xavier Musketeers, they cannot guard. So
No.
if they go against someone who can shoot the ball really well, I'm scared.
You get against a high scoring 15 seed
Yeah.
like the Oral
'Cause
Roberts,
me and-
and the over under will be set at 162. And,
Or if
we'll
they-
tease it down.
Or if
but
they
then-
go against the St. Peter's team who can guard, like last year.
Yeah.
Me and Tim have talked about it. Zave is at their best in March as a low seed.
Yes.
The 2 times they've been to the Elite 8, 11 seed.
2 out of 3 times. Yeah.
They've lost on the first weekend as a 1 seed before.
Well, they better start really fumbling this season away because
No.
right now they're looking too good.
Yeah.
They're looking fantastic right now.
We're not. What if we just don't lose for the rest of the season? It's gonna be crazy.
That would be nice.
Number one
Who's the
overall
player of the
seed.
year this year?
What?
Zach Edey is going to win Player of the Year.
Yeah,
he's
makes
he's
sense.
won the Player of the Year already.
Sheway did just go 37-24 out
Yeah,
of
where did
nowhere.
that come from?
Zach Edey does that
Yeah.
once a week though. That's the thing.
So-
And he doesn't foul. I don't understand that. He doesn't get any whistles.
Because
Dude, he's
he-
8 feet tall. Just puts
He
hands
fouls though. He fouls.
he's bumping bodies out there.
He fouls people. He just never gets called for
Yeah,
it. He
put your
used
hands in
to.
the air.
Last year he got called for it all the time.
why
He
he
wouldn't.
couldn't
He couldn't play because he'd get foul calls. Suddenly he does not foul anymore. Suddenly he doesn't commit a single one. I don't understand it.
Good on you.
Nah.
Just put your hands in the air. Don't foul. That's what I'd say to him.
Wait a minute.
You're 9
I
feet
can
tall.
buy myself
Boom,
flowers.
Alrighty.
boom, boom, boom.
Who's your
This is
favorite fearless hero? Oh, who's your favorite fearless hero? Who never been touched by a blade? Da, da, da.
Love you
I
guys.
just heard
No,
the
no,
whistle
no,
of
Tim,
death.
hold on.
I just heard the whistle of death. Oh,
You suck at whistling.
he's coming for
Dude,
us all.
death is coming for you guys.
Oh,
On a serious
no.
note, let's end this podcast. It feels good to be back.
Yep.
Chapter 4 is now. It is here. We're legal.
Then we're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube. Hey, go see Puss in Boots.
Yeah. Yes. All right. See you guys.